Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another speed build. This one is also another shell challenge by my friend Torrance. As well, I will link all of her stuff in the description. But this build was supposed to be a sketchy build. And the shell for it just looked like the shell of a factory to me. So I decided to go with an abandoned nuclear plant factory type thing. And we were allowed to use CC on this build, so I decided to download a bunch of apocalyptic broken type of CC, so I used a lot of that in this build, especially the boards on the window and the broken windows. That was probably one of my favorite parts that I added to this. And I downloaded a lot, and I couldn't even find half of what I downloaded, but I did end up doing a sort of furniture factory, I guess, because there's a lot of broken chairs and benches and stuff. And I do want to mention the roof on this was giving me a lot of issues, but I think in the end it turned out all right. Over here I am building the little a manager's boss's area type of thing. So there's computers, but there's also a broken chair, and I thought these windows fit perfectly over here, so that is what I decided to use over here. And I decided to put this little ray gun type of thing. I also downloaded a mod that adds sort of the chemicals and stuff from Fallout 4. So I have the Rad-X, Med-X, I got stim packs and stuff like that, but one of the actual apocalyptic things was one of these guns. I'm pretty sure either that or actually is in the game, part of a doctor's thing, a scanner. I cannot remember, but I decided to put that there, kind of a weapon for protection for the boss. And then over here, I'm just sort of scrolling through all of my CC and adding in everything that I want to add to the build. So I'm just kind of placing everything over in this little corner, so that I can go back to it and grab it when I need it. But I have these shelves here, and honestly, I forgot that they even came with what I downloaded. So I put those in here, and I stacked two other ones on top of it to sort of make a taller shelf for the factory, and then I ended up adding these two machines, I guess they would be called, that actually come with a few packs in the game. I cannot remember which ones, and just some safety cones, some drums, some random piping, a broken fridge. So here I am stacking these on top of each other, and I think it just kind of looks like a factory shelf. And then I'm adding just a broken fridge over here and putting the machines together. And I actually have these factory lights, and so I put those up there. I think I ended up moving some of them later on, just because I sort of do a different area there, because there is a basement in this build. So I think I moved those around a little bit. And here I am just basically cluttering up around everywhere. Now there is a flooring that I used that was a metal, a rusted metal flooring, that I found, and in the description there will be the file for the CC. If you would like to use the CC or download this lot, it will be in the description. But this metal flooring right here, it just looked perfect for me for a factory, so I used that, and as well as this wallpaper too. It's tiled but broken. And then I also put some like cracks and peeling paint and just a bunch of other stuff. So here I am trying to figure out where the entrance to the basement is going to go. And I ended up putting it not over here. I ended up moving it over here actually, because the basement that Torrance made was actually not where I put it at first. I don't know what my words are today. I also would just like to mention that this voiceover is recorded in different segments, because I keep coughing, and I'm really trying not to, but I got COVID like 2 weeks ago and I've just been coughing ever since. So if things sound different from one part of what I'm saying to something different, that is why. I just wanted to put that in there because me like looking back at this is like just, it's kind of crazy. Anyways, I am just cluttering up some more. I found these like hazard signs, so I put a few of those everywhere. And I now am decorating the outside. I do believe I put like a grill out here as well. There's like a power generator, a broken bench, a broken mirror, a lot of like gas tanks and stuff like that. So there's just like random stuff outside. Now this door, I thought this door was gonna be fine, but then I ended up using the one from the werewolves pack because it just looks more like a factory door, and I did keep it blue because I just felt like this place needed a little bit of color, you know. And I also found this tarp, so there's a tarp in here. So I decided to use these metal stairs to go upstairs, and the next floor up is actually just kind of like the break room for the employees. And I used the same wallpaper up there, but I did use a different flooring. I can't remember what flooring I used, but I guess we'll see it here in a second. But here I am just trying to figure out just like a little like counter area. So I put these two counters and just like a rusted old fridge and a microwave. And then I put a table and a couple chairs that were broken to just sort of like add more to the whole abandoned effect, I guess. And then there was also this breaker box that I ended up putting on the floor, like up by the steps, just to sort of like it's like fallen off the wall, you know. And I really wanted to put this mirror up there, but sizing it down didn't work. So I just ended up using a small square one and a little light. I'm just decorating around here too with some like canned foods and everything. So here's that breaker box, and I did want to put it on the wall, but the door is kind of like not really hanging off it, just like leaning it, so I figured it just looked better on the floor. And these two rooms here, I decided I didn't know what I wanted to do with them, but then I was like, we can use spandrels and like fences and stuff, so I decided to sort of make it into a tower of sorts. And I do end up changing the color. Like at first I thought I wanted to keep the blue metal, but I do end up changing it to the white one, I believe. And I end up changing the roofs as well. And I found this like water tower thing in the debug menu, so I put that like inside of it to kind of make it look a little bit more realistic. But here I am changing it to the white ones, just as I didn't want this to be like too colorful on the outside. But here I am just sort of cluttering it up a little bit more before we head into the basement. So the basement is where the real sketchy stuff is going to go down. And I had this like New York strip lighting thing, so I ended up putting those there, as well as like a divider, but you won't see that until a little bit later. I ended up using the same flooring and walls as upstairs. However, I did add some of these like doctor's machines down here. There's like a That was me clapping. I cannot think of the names of like literally anything, and then I keep finding things and like going back up, putting them up there, and then going back into the basement. But the basement is pretty much a laboratory that was experimenting on some very sketchy things, like gnomes and babies basically. And I downloaded this like crime scene tape, but I don't think I actually ended up using it in this build, sadly. But I'm just cluttering some things up, and I found this cheese wheel that I thought was like actually extremely hilarious. So I put that there, and I put this Ouija board here. Now, it took me a long time trying to set this on top of this crate. But for some reason it just is like transparent, so I just ended up putting it on the floor over by one of the machines. And I also have like these gardening tools, but they kind of looked a little like sketchy to me, so I ended up putting those on the walls, and then some rusted out tools over in the other room. And I also have this like chalk outline of a dead person, so I have that there. But here's that divider that I was talking about. It's like a wooden divider, and I thought it just kind of like went well with this area. It's sort of like the door. But here we go. Here are the screenshots. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you have any ideas of what you would like me to build, let me know. But enjoy these screenshots, and I'll see you guys in my next video.